A very good morning, students. Students, as you all of know that we are interpreting the dramatic monologue A Grammarian's Funeral by Robert Browning, and we have almost completed half of this poem. Today we will try to finish this poem. Students, we know that the grammarian whose body is being taken for burial devoted himself night and day to the study of books, with the result that he grew learned. But he also became old before his time. He became old, his eyes lost their brightness and because of physical weakness he could talk only in a halting, incoherent manner. Another man in his place would have said that he had acquired rough knowledge, and now it was time for him to give up his seclusion and his books, which come in the way of the enjoyment of life. Students, let us first go through the lines that we are going to interpret today. Back to his book, then deeper dropped deeper drooped his head. Calculus ragged him, leaden before his eyes grew dross of lead. The sea attacked him. Now, master, take a little rest. Not he. Caution redoubled. Step to abreast. The way winds narrowly. Not a whit troubled. Back to his studies, fresher than at first, fierce as a dragon, he, soul hydroptic with a sacred thirst, sucked at the flagon. Oh, if we draw a circle premature, headless of far gain, greedy for quick returns of profit, sure, but is our bargain. Who is not great? Did not he throw on God? He loves the burden. God's task to make the heavenly period perfect the earthen. Did not he magnify the mind, show clear just what it all meant? He would not discount life, as fools do here, paid by installments. He ventured neck or nothing, heaven's success found, or earth's failure. Wilt thou thirst death or not? He answered, yes. Hence, with life's failure, that low man seeks a little things to do, sees it and does it. He ventured, neck or nothing, heaven's success found or earth's failure. Wilt thou trust death or not? He answered, yes. Hence, with life's failure, that low man seeks a little things to do, sees it and does it. This high man, with a great thing to pursue, dies ere he knows it. That low man goes on adding one to one, his 100th soon hit. This high man, aiming at million, misses an unit that has the word here. Should he need the next, let the word mind him. This throws himself on God, and unperplexed seeking shall find him. So, with the throttling hands of death at strife, ground he at grammar. Still, through the rattle, parts of speech were trife. While he could stammer, he settled haughty's business. Let it be properly based on. Give us the doctrine of an eclectic day, dead from the waist down. Well, here is the platform, here is the proper place. Hail to your Peleus, all ye high flyers of the feathered race, swallows and curlews. Here is the top peak, the multitude below. Live, for they can there. This man decided not to live but to know. Bury this man there, here. Here is his place, where meteors shoot, clouds form, lightnings are loosened, stars come and go. Let joy break with storm. Peace let the dew send. Lofty designs must close in like effects. Loftily lying. Leave him, still loftier than the world suspects, living and dying. Students, we have just gone through the lines that today we are going to analyze. And students, I would like to share that this poem might be viewed as a memorial to Hugh Stuart Bard, the celestial classical scholar who taught Greek to Elizabeth Barrett. Students, I have already told you Elizabeth Barrett was an Italian lady, and Robert Browning married her in Italy secretly. And this Elizabeth Barrett gave expression to her enthusiasm for this grammarian in her work entitled Wine of Cyprus. One of Bard's works after he became blind was an essay on the Greek article. Elizabeth Barrett wrote 3 sonnets on his death. Browning too in a letter referred to the poor old blind forsaken man's death. So students, let us come to today's lines. Was it not great? Did not he throw on God? He loves the burden. God's task to make the heavenly period perfect the earthen. Did not he magnify the mind, show clear just what it all meant? He would not discount life as fools do here, paid by installment. So this grammarian returned again and again to his studies. He became even more absorbed in his readings. The stoop in his shoulders grew worse. He suffered from stone in bladder and from various other bodily ailments. His eyes grew dull and lusterless as lead. He suffered from cough and bronchitis. His people asked him to rest, but he would not rest. The speaker now tells his companions to be more careful as the winding path is narrow here. He ventured neck or nothing, heaven's success, found on earth's failure. Will thou trust death or not? He answered, yes. Hence, with life's failure, that low man seeks a little thing to do, sees it and does it. This higher man, with the great thing to pursue, dies ere he knows it. Now the disciple suggests his companion that they should walk 2 abreast. Again, returning to the life and character of their dead master, he tells them that their master suffered, but he remained quite untroubled. He returned to his studies with fresher energies and enthusiasm than ever before. With the energy of a dragon, he drained the cup of knowledge, as if he were thirsty with a soul thirst, like a dropsical person who has an insatiable thirst for water. That low man goes on adding 1 to 1. His hundreds soon hit. This high man, aiming at 1,000,000, misses an unit. That has word here. Should he next need the next, let the word mind him. This throws himself on God, and unperplexed seeking shall find him. The dead man had noble ambitions. He did not care for gain or profit in this world. He aimed at higher reward in the life to come. He was not one of those who have narrow, limited ambitions. Such people are losers in the long run. They may make some immediate profit in the present, but they lose the largest profits which result from prolonged efforts and waiting. The dead scholar did not make this mistake. He devoted his life to study and hoped to get his profits not here but in the life to come. It was heroic, splendid on his part. He had full faith in God, and he threw himself entirely on the mercy of God. He depended upon God to reward him in the other world, but his labor in this world. He knew that God alone can make the life in heaven perfect and complete life in this world. He therefore did not care for earthly gains. Rather, he tried to enlarge his mind with knowledge and understand the nature and mystery of life. He did not underestimate life nor discount his future reward by accepting reward from this earth in installment. So, with the throttling hands of death at strife, ground he at grammar, still through the rattle, parts of speech were rife, while he could stammer, he settled Hathi's business, let it be properly based on, gave us the doctrine of Ecliptic day, dead from the waist down. Well, here is the platform, here is the proper place. Hail to your Purlius, all ye high flyers of the feathered race, swallows and curlews. Students, the head disciple says that he was not prepared to accept his reward in installments as ordinary people do something here on this earth than something more in heaven. He thought that it is better to reject one's reward on this earth so that one may get whole of it in heaven. He preferred to get his reward in heaven all at one time. He wanted all his rewards in heaven in a lump and nothing short of it. He was asked whether he believed death to be the end of life, but he believed not in one but thousands of lives hereafter. So he boldly and firmly replied that he considered death to be only one preparation for another life, much more important and valuable than their present earthly life. So he did not value the attraction and pleasures of this world. He was not afraid of death, rather, he welcomed it. So in this world, there are people of two kinds: low men with limited small ambitions, and noble people like the grammarian with high ambitions difficult to attain. The low men whose ambitions are small and whose aims are limited see clearly their goals and achieve it with little effort. On the other hand, noble persons like this grammarian have lofty ambitions. Their ideals are so high that they die even before they can form a clear idea of their ideals or objects of desire. The poet explains the point through the use of an apt illustration. A low man is like a person who wants only 100 rupees. He makes efforts, he earns them little by little in installments and soon gets the 100 he wanted. Such a man is successful according to the standards of this world. On the other hand, a noble person like the grammarian aims at not 100 rupees but at 1 million. His aims are high, he is ambitious, but his life ends even before he has achieved a single unit. From the worldly point of view, he is a failure, but according to Browning's philosophy, failure here means success in the other world. Such men of noble ideas and ideals may fail in this world, but they are sure to be rewarded in the life to come. So, with the throttling hands of death at strife, ground he at grammar. Still, through the rattle, parts of speech were rife. While he could stammer, he settled Hathi's business, let it be properly based on, gave us the doctrine of the Ecliptic day, dead from the waist down. Well, here is the platform, here is the proper place. Hail to your Purlius, all ye high flyers of the feathered race, swallows and curlews. So the head disciple says, he continues, that the dead grammarian was a brave scholar who continued to work hard at the study of grammar even up to the moment of his death. Even when he felt the suffocating hands of death at his throat, even when he was waging his last struggle, the struggle with death, the great scholar did not cease his studies. Even when he was dying, he could utter only a halting and rattling sound. Even when his speech grew halting and incoherent, he continued to discuss the rules of grammar, such as the use of various parts of speech. Even at the very last moment, when he could hardly stammer, he explained the correct use of the Greek articles as hoti and on and day, which is prefixed to give it a slightly different meaning. When the lower half of his body was paralyzed, he continued his study and research in the principles of Greek grammar and syntax. His researches could throw light on many complex points of syntax and grammar. Here is the top peak, the multitude below. Live, for they can there. This man decided not to live, but no. Bury this man here, there. Here is his place, where meteors shoot and clouds form, lightnings are loosened, stars come and go. Let joy break with storm, peace let dew send. Lofty designs must close in like effects. Loftily lying, leave him still loftier than the word suspects, living and dying. So, now, students, the funeral procession reaches the highest peak of the mountain where there is a wide open space or platform. This the speaker considers to be a proper place for the burial of the dead grammarian. The mountain peak is the haunt of such high flying birds as the swallows and curlews. Like these birds, the grammarian also soared high into the realms of knowledge, so it is appropriate that he should be buried at the highest peak, the abode of these birds. The common men live in the plains below, which are places of darkness and ignorance. But this grammarian, instead of living a life of ignorance like them, decided to soar high in the realms of knowledge, and therefore he should be buried on the highest peak. He continues to say, students, that this is the place where the shooting stars are seen, where clouds form, and where lightning is released from the clouds, and where the stars rise in the evening and sink in the morning. Grandeur and loftiness of nature at this place is in harmony with the loftiness and sublimity of the soul of their master. His soul receive comfort and joy from the storms which break here, and peace will descend upon him with the dew. Students, he says at the end of the poem that it is a fitting place of burial for this man of lofty ambitions and plans. He should be left buried at this lofty place. Both in his life and in his death, he was more sublime and lofty than can ever be imagined by the crowd of ignorant people who live in the plains below. So, students, now this Grammarian's Funeral, one of the best known poems of Browning, comes to an end. Thank you very much.